Fixed it. Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now? Please let me know if you can hear me now. I am seeing something I didn't see before, which is my mic
Fixed it.
picking up audio.
Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now?
Find it.
Please let me know if you can hear me now.
Awesome.
I am seeing.
Thank you.
I am seeing something I didn't see before, which is my mic. Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now?
Find it.
Please let me know if you can hear me now. I am seeing.
Thank you.
I am seeing something I didn't see before, which is my mic. Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now? Find it. Please let me know if you can hear me now. I am seeing.
Thank you.
I am seeing something I didn't see before, which is my mic. Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now? Find it. Please let me know if you can hear me now. I am seeing. Thank you. I am seeing something I didn't see before, which is my mic. Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now? Find it. Please let me know if you can hear me now. I am seeing. Thank you. I am seeing something I didn't see before, which is my mic. Please let me know if it. Can you hear me now? Find it. Please let me know if you can hear me now. I am seeing.
Please let me know if the echo has disappeared because I closed the other window that I was checking out. Okay, I just want to check if the echo is good or bad. I also see that I'm kind of peaking, so I'm gonna pull my mic back. Okay, how's that? Am I overly loud? If my wife was here, she would say I'm overly loud. My whispers are loud. I have a hilarious story about that. I may or may not ever tell. I did share it with some of my friends in my advocacy group last year, and they thought it was funny because they know I'm a bit quiet now. Okay. All right, so Dave's, okay, I'm popping it up a bit, but hopefully my voice won't peak too much. So I was talking about this flat earth thing on the other stream, and I guess they'll be split into two different streams, and I don't know what we'll see with this one. I tried to put a different thumbnail so people can check it out. If you want to see me stumble around trying to explain why Witless Word Salad is kind of dumb, and I don't want to be mean, because I'm supposed to be kind. And I'm just going to say that Austin Whitsitt has a somewhat unique ability to interpret data, and he has an amazing talent in retaining words that mean things and assembling them in new, different, abstract ways. And so I think I don't know if he has the genius of, say, like Picasso or Salvador Dali, but his science explanations are kind of like a melting clock. In Salvador Dali has this great painting. I forget the name of it. I have a feeling that Our Lady Ember probably knows. Ember knows everything. Right before it ended, yeah. So Reggie, the guests were there talking, and I couldn't hear them. And so I've changed software. I've realized my son's computer does not have Chrome on it. It has Firefox, which is what I've been using. It was recommended to me that I try out Firefox. I've been liking Firefox, but I've used Chrome prior to that. Yeah, Ember knows Austin. So, yeah, there's a great country song about Austin. I forget who sings that one. And it's a a country song about a guy who's lost his woman, but he leaves this it's all on like a voicemail thing, so he sings out the voicemail recordings. And every time I hear Austin's name is Austin instead of Whitsitt Gets It, I think that's the name of his channel. Anyway, I don't want to promote him so much because I think he's kind of a grifter. It's very hard to tell. When you're dealing with someone who has, it's amazing. And I wish I had the sound bites here. I know the people that talk about him all the time. Oh, good point, Reggie. I don't want to go off on a tangent because I don't have a lot more time. I'm going to go 10, 15 more minutes. And then if you called about the car, I sold it. Yes, Ember knows the one. You know what? A lady like Ember who spent as much time on the road as I have and do, and maybe Commander too. And I don't know about the rest of you. Like, especially if you're a certain age, and I believe, I'm pretty sure Ember looks way younger than I am. So I assume she's a little younger than I am. But knowing that she has adult children and stuff gives me an idea that she's probably grew up in a similar era to me. If you had a country station on back in the day, that song was on a lot. And I used to listen to Ember. I don't know if I ever talked about this. I know you live further away, but there's a country station that I listened to for all of my child and teen years when I was in the East. Oh, that's right. You're in puberty again, Ember. Yeah. So Ember, I think Ember's quite open that she's a trans woman, and she has a great show where she talks about all sorts of amazing stuff. And I'm probably lucky that Ember missed the debate we were supposed to have, and Justin from, is it Skeptic Spin something? I gotta look it up. I forgot the name of his new channel. Justin ended up filling in last minute because Ember had a scheduling mishap. And hey, Captain, good to see you. I don't know if you're back in port or if you're out on the high seas, but welcome. But yeah, Ember's. I want to just shill Ember's. Ember's great. Skeptic Spin. Okay, so I did remember it right. Thank you, Ember. Ember's a repository of knowledge, of good knowledge, and she remembers all the big words too. Just like Witsit, except she knows what they mean. She puts them together properly. So it's an amazing thing. But yeah, in the other stream that I did, I was trying to explain why people are having trouble visualizing, and I've decided I'm gonna take my white ball and I'm gonna make up another ball video. And I've just been trying to think about how to videotape it so that it's obvious to people what's going on, and I've sort of thought I have to sort of rotisserie the ball and have some little pins or something that represent a person. And I'll maybe get, like, I think my kids have googly eyes somewhere in like the craft bin. I'm gonna see if I can find that thing and maybe put eyes on whatever it is. But I was using this for people that missed the other stream. I was using this little guy. My son got this guy as a prize with like a Pokemon card set, and I don't know if this guy's a Pokemon. If you're a Pokemon fan and everybody's at school, so I'm on my own here identifying Pokemon. I don't recognize this guy from video games, the show, or whatever. And my son would say, well, obviously that's this guy. Yeah, Ember, you're right. Googly eyes make everything better. And the way this program is, I have to sign into the chat, but it won't let me sign in with my account and chat as Al Trucker. So I would be signed. The only way it'll let me sign in for some reason, I don't know why this is as my personal account. And I think I'm a little bit doxed on here, but I'm trying not to overly dox myself. I think it's better that I be, a little bit private about my personal details. But I'm not, I don't know. I don't talk about a lot of stuff that's super controversial, so I'm not expecting people to come like flying up to my door, but you never fucking know, right? It's a ghost. You do not. Okay, so it's a ghost Pokemon. So Captain knows. And the thing is, parents who are attentive figure it out, right? But maybe Captain is young enough to have played with Pokemon cards and stuff. Putting eyes on your mic. You know what? That's a great idea, Ember. And maybe I should with the blue snowball here. And maybe naming contest for blue here. Because I think blue's overdone as a name, for dogs and characters and stuff. Like there's that Blue's Clues and there's Bluey the dog. So I think like blue. I like the blues. I think the first thing that pops into my head is Muddy Waters, or John Lee Hooker. You know what? Maybe since I drag hose around, maybe we'll call this the Chrome Hooker. And I will put eyes on it, and maybe even a smiley face. And we'll, every once in a while I'll pop out the big chrome ball and show everyone my ball, my ball mic, and then I have this white styrofoam ball that I bought at a craft store because my daughter wanted to go to the craft store and she wanted to get stuff to make. I don't even remember what. My kids both like making stuff, and it's pretty cool. Hey, Tori, welcome back, Tori. And there's a lot of people here that I have to make into mods, but because this is going to be a short one, I'll do it the next time around. You worked in a bicycle shop. Okay, so you were edified at the bicycle shop there, Captain. Oh, that's great. And the Captain's not always around. The tiny Captain, has a channel and also does some great sort of globe proof and globe explanation videos here and there. But the Tiny Captain is he's not called Captain because he's in the military. He's not called Captain because he's an airline pilot. He's called Captain because he's the captain of boats and has a career doing sea trials of boats and moving them places. It's pretty cool. And I think Captain and I've talked before privately and also on different things, and the Tiny Captain comes over to Slim sometimes, and we have chats about it. But I think I should arrange a few chats with people, and maybe before I recover, I'll have people on to talk about their careers and things they know and things they do. It'll fit in with some of the other things I'm thinking about doing. And I did reach out to DC, and she reached out to me about doing something with the TikTok tunnel lady and about why it's a bad idea to use small hand tools to carve out the rocks underneath your house in your neighbor's yard. Yeah, you got to do more videos, Captain. So yeah, no, go check out the Tiny Captain. If you type that in, it'll get there. I'm PC isn't here right now. If she was, she'd already have all this laid out. And I can't even sign into my chat. Oh, you're hoping to find a power outlet. I hope you find one too, Commander. I want your computer to get up and going. But as I said, I'm going to end this in 5 minutes. So by vote, does anyone want to hear me talk about Austin Whitsitt any further? Or would you like me to tell you about my convalescence and where I'm at? Or just put in a topic and we'll see if I can come up with answers about it. And Ember, before I forget, the radio station was WBEE, and I think it was out of Watertown or Rochester. I'm pretty sure it was out of Watertown. And I know Ember lives in upstate New York, somewhere. We're certainly not doxing. Oh, thank you, Captain. You put it in there, so hopefully you can fix it, or you put it in there. And I just don't think I have any. I don't think I have any. Like I can get it to show me moderation and stuff. But it doesn't let me participate in the chat. I'll have to play with this when my physio's over. But I don't want to be the physio is supposed to come in 25 minutes. So when I have 20 minutes left to get ready, I'm gonna do that. The B, one of the stations we ran at. Okay, awesome, for the Comic-Con. Yeah, so I used to listen to the WBE, and so there was this thing called the American Country Countdown that was on there I think it was Sunday mornings or Saturday mornings. So one interesting thing about me and my family and my dad had this sort of trailer cabin thing down on Lake Ontario in a little bay, and I grew up going down there, so I'm a trailer park kid. I am one of the trailer park boys, and I have some good friends that I still talk to from the trailer park, and I need to follow up with some of them. And when my dad passed, we had a special. We had two sort of memorial services for him. One in Toronto, where I was born and raised, and where a lot of my dad's contacts are. But also we had a trailer park one. And my sister bought a house about 5 minutes from the trailer park as her cottage, which is pretty cool. So we visit there every once in a while, and we hosted the memorial at actually both of her houses. Her house in Toronto, which is large enough to have a few people in, and my house is large enough to have the people in, but it's a little out of the way for people because I live pretty far away. You live in a trailer park before the farm. That's great, Ember. You know what? Trailer park living is pretty cool. And I'm a very avid RVer, and you know what? Since there's only 5 minutes left, I don't know and nobody's put in like a topic to talk about. But just to put it in perspective, for Ember, the place that we were hanging out at was south of Belleville, on Prince Edward County, and so it stuck out into the lake, and we could get, and in fact, I could get it on the 401 sometimes. WBE we could get, yeah. So yeah, and Commander knows, and you know what, Ember and I've talked privately, and Commander and I've talked privately. I think we know a little bit more about each other than we necessarily want to share. I don't want to dox people's, exact locations, but I think I'm saying things that people have already said. I'm trying to not give out extra information that isn't general knowledge. And if I'm stepping over the bounds, you guys send me a message, or you girls send me a message, and tell me to stop saying stupid shit. So I'm gonna tell you about my goal in life, which I'm not sure that my wife will agree with this, because I think my wife envisions us having like a Class A bus style RV that's pre-made from a regular sort of place. Yeah, no, you haven't, Commander. And I just know what states you hang out in on the road, and I know you've talked about which state you're gonna move to when you get your stuff sorted out. Yeah. Yeah, Ember. Yeah, and Ember, you're sort of like your upstate New York location is not something you hide, but we're certainly not going to get down to local towns and stuff. But we know you've been a long-term fixture here in the overall community, and there's these overlapping communities. I can tell you about this. I got 3 minutes, and I'm going to stop this. So I'm just going to tell you, and because we got truckers in the chat. You know what I'm talking about? I would like, and Robin was here earlier. I don't know if Robin made it back to this one. I cannot recall. And I will figure out how to run this thing, because this software actually seems pretty good. And I'll have to see if I can get people on it. Maybe some of my friends that I know and can chat with will come up with a plan and actually do some testing. But after my physio, I think my kids will be home and stuff. And I don't want to be streaming. While they're home, I'd like to spend a little bit of time with them, even if they're just on their phones. I like to be present and chat with them and stuff. So, I don't know. It's a weird world we live in. Anyway, so I would like to get a W9 Kenworth and stretch out the frame. A tandem drive. I'd have to get used to having like light duty axles. Because I'm used to, for the truckers out there, the truck I drive has got a 22 front, a 46 tandem, and a 20K pusher axle. So I got 4 axles on my truck. So I'm used to having I can't remember the math. It's around 90,000 pounds of carrying capacity on my tractor, and then I can do about the same on a trailer, which means I can move some pretty big ass machines. Legally on the axles that we have, and then we have bigger trucks, which I'm going to work up to. I'm almost 3 years into my career as a heavy haul trucker, and once I get better and get back in the swing of things, I'm hoping they'll give me a chance to try out Jeeps and boosters, maybe some of the smaller ones, and then I'll move. Hopefully they'll give me a chance to do 13 axle rig, which is the biggest one we have in our yard. And I basically, as long as they'll keep me and I keep learning, I'd like to stay with the same company I'm with, assuming the economics of it makes sense. I have no intention of moving. But, it takes time to learn this stuff. It's very, very technical, a lot of it. A lot of it's simple, but there's a lot of steps to remember, and there's a lot of stuff to manage. And the bigger Jeeps, they just tow behind, but boosters run separate motors with hydraulic packs and little gas motors in them and stuff that need to be managed. There's a lot that goes into that, and we also have rail floats that work the same way. And rail floats are a special thing, and I want to volunteer to do more rail float work, because it's very interesting to work on the railway. So all right, so my dream is a W9 tractor. I probably put a 14 front and probably a 40 rear. I think a 46 would be too much. Stretch it out. Put a C15 Cat, 18 speed, an 18 speed transmission for me, because I just like driving an 18. I know I could do RVing with like a 13 easily, but I just, the W9, and you know what? If I had this W9, like the chrome and the metallic fleck paint on the outside that I would do if I had the money would just blow people's fucking minds. It would only blow the minds of fellow truckers. Other people wouldn't notice. And then I'd just like to have like a nice little, basically a beautiful cabin for my wife and I to live in at the back. The living quarters would be like a pretty nice Class A RV, nothing too crazy. But the cab, I mean, I would have the most comfortable wooden steering wheel. I would not get one of those like crazy ape hanger style shifters. I hate that shit. I don't like having my arms up above. people like when they see my when they see my bike, and a lot of people will mistake it for a hog because I actually have a trumpet, which is the sort of nickname for a Triumph. I have a Triumph Thunderbird, and people are like, don't you want those handlebars up higher and stuff? And like, no, I like having my arms like kind of at my side. I like my shifter in my truck is perfect. I was driving a T8 that had a shifter. It had an old Cummins in it. It had about 1.3 million kilometers. It was great. You drive commercial vehicles in Canada. Yeah, I can drive commercial vehicles in the U.S. and Canada too. The only thing I need to do is a P test at the clearinghouse, which my company's never had to send me over the border. I had done commercial work over the border previously, so I know what the deal is, but the company I'm at has to do it separately for me. And it has to be redone periodically. So I'm actually I'm hoping maybe I can do a couple of big runs next year. And I think maybe if they have anything, especially through the winter, that takes me out of the snow, takes me on some longer runs and lets me sort of get myself back into the swing of things without being totally ripped apart physically, which is where I'm at. But this W9, I would have this thing in this metallic fleck red color, and I would have stripes on it that are that just beautiful stripes from the back in the day, and they would be this sort of cream color to go with the red. I've seen a color scheme kind of similar to this. I'll try to find stuff like that, and I may even do some AI art of it. But I would have a W9. I think I'd have a W9 with a little bunk area with some extra sort of seating, and I would love to I think I'd customize it. I think I'd put 4900 Western Star style windows in the back of it with tint, and I'd have a couple of little lounge chairs in there that have seatbelts so you can sit up front and watch out the windshield if you want to. I'd have the passenger seat, air ride everything, air ride seats all the way around. The cab would be comfortable. There would be fun fur on the headliner, and great leather seats. Reggie's talking about their bike. Bike has a smaller set of bars. Don't like hanging arms in the air. Small enough bike that can do. I know the stupid heart thing's in the way. Mild off-road running and yeah. So Reggie, I'm thinking about and trying. I think if my wife isn't sure on this because she doesn't care about the motorcycle part of it, but I'm thinking of selling my motorcycle and selling my truck and getting a smaller vehicle that's a little cheaper than my truck, get the money from my bike and a little bit of the money from the truck, and just buy a bike that's about $1,500 more than what I think my bike is worth, and put that on the road. And I want to get, my dream bike would probably be BMW 1250 GS. Haven't heard great things about the 1350, the new one. And I don't have the money for that, but a used one, a 1200 or 1250, something like that would be awesome. I don't like BMW drivers, but I do like BMW bikes. They make a really solid bike. I've ridden two of them in my time riding. I've only been riding for 5 years. I should have started way earlier in my life. I loved motorcycles since my earliest days. But anyway, I've gone way over time. So look for me to do community posts about bikes. I can do community posts about bikes and my dream RV. And I suspect my wife is going to say, that's too much work, that's too much money, that's too much trouble. What we're really going to do is go buy a used Class A and live with whatever the fuck it is, if we ever get to that point. I hope we do. That's kind of the retirement plan eventually. My youngest kid, my son, is 13. And he's on the autism spectrum, and my daughter's 15 and getting. The days fly by. I know people that are parents say that all the time. It's crazy. Can you believe this much time? Well, you know what? The time's ticking by no matter what. The Earth rotating around the sun and on its axis. So the days are going by, the years are going by. It's fucking crazy. But I want to thank everybody for coming. It's been so lovely to have people come and join me twice. I know other people stream at this time too, so I appreciate the support. And I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I just honestly am really glad people spend time with me, and I love spending time on other people's channels and chats. And I've been so tired, I I haven't been present, and I haven't been able to stick around. And I have, thankfully today hasn't been so bad, but coughing fits and crazy shit like that. So, anyway, thank you so much. And Ember, thank you. And, my doctor told me on Monday, I'm not going back to work next week. It may even be another week or two past that before I'm well enough. Not what I wanted to hear, at all. My lungs are weak. They're not doing what I want them to do, but I'm gonna get there, at whatever pace it takes. I'm trying to get my legs under me. The chronic pain I have from the nerve disorder in my legs is really wild. But I've gone way over the time I wanted to, because I wanted to have some time to relax before physio shows up. So I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna thank you all for coming. Lick and describe if you haven't already, but I'm sure you have. And I just want to say thank you and remind everyone to be kind. And, have a great day. Thank you, Victoria, for showing up. I am Victoria is here. And I don't know if I said hello before, because I've been all over the damn place as usual. I don't know if my streams will get better or worse if I get ADHD diagnosed.